Welcome to another episode of the Stillman Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Battisto. Today's guest, we got Collin Guffey. Collin Guffey was a state champ last year. He's a three-time California state placer. He got fifth, then he got second, then he got first. Missed his freshman year due to COVID. He wrestled for Granite Hills High School, just graduated last week, and now he is going to be going to Stanford. Really excited to have him on. I actually tried to do an interview last year when I went up and visited Granite, and like complete idiot, didn't hit the record button and didn't get any audio on our interview. So please make fun of me and give me a hard time because I need to get better. But I'm super glad to have him on the show. Very excited to talk to him, and I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. You guys finished school, was it last week?
Yeah, we graduated the Thursday last week, and we finished school Wednesday.
Wait, so you finished school Wednesday, you graduate Thursday.
Yeah.
Do you have your finals, I guess, early, or is it how does that work with school?
Well, I think just for seniors, we had it really early. So I just watched movies the whole last week. It was pretty easy, just chilled out. So it was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
What movies did you watch?
I think we watched Cars in one of my classes, just I don't know, just chill movies.
I watched Cars in one of my classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I like it.
I hadn't seen it in in a pretty long time, but yeah, we finished our final early. It doesn't take 2 hours to finish our final. So
Yeah.
yeah, we started Cars, but
Yeah, I love Cars.
dude, so what have you been doing since you graduated? Did you go anywhere cool over the weekend? Did you do anything fun or?
No, I wish. I know a lot of people are going to vacation and stuff, but I leave for Stanford this Sunday, so I don't really have time to go to vacation. So I just been chilling out, practicing a little, hanging out with some friends, and yeah.
Yeah. So you go Sunday. So are you basically going to be living up there in the dorms? Are you taking summer classes, or how is that going to work?
No, so I'm training with the team. I don't have classes, but I'm gonna be working up there and just getting used to the campus and the team. So I think it'll be really cool. Have a good summer up there and whatnot.
Yeah, you
So
said
yeah.
you're working. What are you going to be doing?
I think I'm a conference assistance manager, so I just help organize conferences and have people check in and pretty chill. So yeah, nothing.
Like virtual conferences?
No, in person.
Gotcha. So
Yeah, yeah.
you're kind of like a secretary.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're pretty good at talking to people, and that's most of the job, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a decent talker. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be fun though.
What is something maybe you're looking forward to most about going down to Stanford this summer? What's something you're just excited about?
I think just chilling with the team will be cool. The campus is really nice, and when I was up there on the past couple of visits, we'd ride our bikes around and it was really fun. It's if you have an appreciation for nature, then you'll like it a lot. And there's a lot of stuff to do there. And yeah, just getting better at wrestling too. So
Yeah, I kind of grew up kind of in that area. I lived in Santa Cruz for a good chunk of time, so we
hmm
would go over there and train and practice a good number of times and go watch dual meets. Campus is super beautiful. The wrestling room's awesome.
yeah.
Obviously, you've been there on your recruiting trip. When you when you think back to your recruiting process, I know maybe at some times, with what happened with Cole, maybe, kind of there's speculation about him possibly going to Oklahoma and then him ultimately leaving. What was something that I guess when that part was going on, was there any contemplation about possibly going somewhere else, or was it something that, you're going to Stanford no matter what, regardless of who's going to be coaching there?
Yeah, I think with my parents, there's never any contemplation at all. And obviously Coach Cole has a great thing at North Carolina, but you can't beat Stanford. You can't beat the education along with that the wrestling team itself. It's a great place. It's not too far from my home. Great people, and I would never change that. So
Yeah.
it was the perfect storm. So why would I give up on that, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there's not too many places where you're going to for sure have a good social experience. You're going to have a good academic experience, and then you're going to be set up with just their alumni network and everything, you're going to be set up pretty much to get whatever job you want.
Yeah,
And they got a pretty good wrestling team.
exactly. So
That's the triple threat.
exactly. I mean, you can't beat it. It's I don't know. I really like once I was on campus, I was like, all right, I think I want to go here, and I didn't take any other like recruiting trips, so I don't know.
So
Just
that
can't beat
that was your
Stanford.
only that was your only
That was my
recruiting
only
trip?
official. Yeah, I went on a couple like unofficials, but just Stanford's my only official, and I recruited like a week or like two after that.
Okay. Was I guess what were some of those other schools you were looking at?
Like a couple of schools hit me up. Me and my coach Brady, we went to like North Carolina State when I was like a junior and like sophomore and stuff. And we went to like Cal Baptist and a couple other schools like hit me up too. But I was mainly focused on Stanford, like, you know.
So I feel like you've kind of gone up every single year you've gone up in weight.
hmm
Are you going to be trying to stay around 165, or is that something that you're thinking about for next year?
I actually don't weigh that much right now. Like I don't really get above like 175. So it's whatever the coaches want. If they want me to gain weight and like go 174, if they want me to go 65, they want me to, do whatever. I'll just do what the coaches want. That's really just like where my head's at right now.
You're a team guy, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it's about. It's not just about like my individual success, about the teams as well. So just do whatever the coach wants of me.
Have you always like been like that, or is that something that maybe as you've gotten older, you kind of started having that opinion?
I think when I was like a kid, I was definitely like really competitive and very like self-centered, I guess. But I think when you're like at a high level, like on the Stanford team, you gotta like think what does the coach want you to do? So, and obviously I'm like still really competitive and want to achieve all my goals. But you gotta think about what the coaches want.
Yeah, you're definitely competitive. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when I came to visit, man, I feel like yeah, you were not just like you were getting frustrated just drilling. Like you were just like, man, screw this. Like I could hear,
Mm-hmm.
I could hear it like under your breath, man. And I don't know, I was pretty fired up. That gave me a
Mm-hmm.
ton of energy. That competitiveness, like where does that come from?
I think I could trace that back to my dad, maybe. He always like pushed me to like go above and beyond what I thought was like my limit. And he always just like pushed me to like be competitive. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't take any of that stuff personally. I think you kind of
hmm
need that, right? And I think that's kind of just part of who you are, and it kind of gives you an edge. And it's
Yeah,
like it's not
definitely.
necessarily. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's like when you get competitive like that, it's not anything personal. It's like you're just trying to hold yourself maybe to a high standard.
Yeah, definitely.
I talked to Sean and Brady a lot, just
hmm
about you, and we obviously share like coaching ideas. But dude, like one of your main, or what I guess one of your best positions, obviously, is on top. How have you kind of developed that piece of your style? Just because, again, you're pretty good with the legs, short time rideouts. I think back to some of your bigger matches, you're able to usually once you get in the top position, you feel pretty comfortable. How have you kind of been able to build that comfort level? And then how do you think that's going to translate into college?
Okay, so I think when I was little, I watched a lot of Spencer Lee, and he is like my favorite wrestler growing up. So I watched that, and it was pretty crazy because he would have like a tight match, it'd be like 2-0 or whatever, and he would just blow like the dude away. It'd be like 15-0 in a minute. And it's literally just because of how good he is at top. He would do like he'd do like multiple tilts, maybe pin him. So that really just like separated him from everybody else. And I just saw that as like a way to dominate and maybe push myself when, it's even and neutral. And for college, with it being 4 point near fall, I think it'll be a lot easier to like widen the gap along with riding time too. And I think a lot of people, especially in California, put a lot of emphasis on like neutral wrestling, and that's understandable. But at the same time, wrestling is 50% like on the mat, so you have to, spend a lot of time there. So
Yeah, I think for sure. I think you kind of talked about all. I think with that college 4 point near fall and the riding time, it's interesting is right after you leave high school that they add the 4 point near
Yeah,
fall, and they get that 3 point takedown. Do you feel like if they had that, maybe that they haven't had the riding time, but if they added riding time to high school, what are your personal thoughts on that? Do you think that's something they should have done, or are you kind of cool with just how it is now?
that'd be cool, but I honestly don't think it'd work out that well because there's already some refs that can't officiate a match. Not to mention with ride out time, so like, how are they gonna do that? And then the table workers, they're like high school kids, like a lot of the times, and they're not gonna know how to keep track of that. So having a riding time in high school, I don't think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody today about that. It's like the
Hmm.
more rules you have sometimes at high school, like the worse it gets. Like it
Yeah,
seems like it
definitely.
would be really cool, but logistically, like you said, the challenges of it just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't think it would work that well.
I wanted to talk about your kind of your record this year. You had 39 pins, is that right? This
Yeah.
year. Is there like a pin record or something like that that maybe
Yeah,
you were
so
shooting for?
yeah, so my dad actually looked up the record and I think it was 111 in San Diego section, not for the state, for San Diego, and my dad looked that up after my junior year, and I was at 76 pins because my dad's kind of like a nerd like me, like we kind of like stats like that. So he's like, all right, you only need 36 pins this season, you break the San Diego record, and I just that was like one of my goals this year is just to break that, and I ended up with 115, so I broke it by 4. I passed my coach Brady along the way too. He had the second most in San Diego, so he's obviously a really good pinner in his own right. But yeah, that was definitely one of my goals.
Is that something that you give him a hard time about,
Yeah,
or
I
was he
mean,
like pretty happy that you did it?
no, he's definitely really happy. He's a great coach, but yeah, I mean, I kind of joke with him, but it's like out of love.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just giving him a hard time.
Hmm.
I think that's cool that you guys kind of have that close relationship with the other coaches on the staff. Is that something that from an athlete perspective that you appreciate, or I guess what are maybe some of the benefits of having that kind of relationship instead of maybe the traditional "I'm the coach, you're the wrestler, you do what I say" kind of thing?
Well, a lot of our coaches are young. I think they're in like their late 20s to early 30s. And we don't really have any old coaches besides Coach Gist, who's the GOAT coach. But besides him, all of our coaches are really young. So they're kind of like older brothers to us, not like and it's kind of like a family, not like a business. It's not about how you perform. So I think we create a lot of great memories, with my coaches being a lot more chill, like a little bit younger, and I think it's a really good environment.
Other than maybe some of those competitions, what are some of those memories that you look back being a part of Granite Hills wrestling team? What are some of the things that you're going to think back and kind of reminisce on?
I think maybe just going on some of the trips, like going to Reno a couple of years. Some of the hotel trips were fun with my buddies, and even at like tournaments, some funny moments in practice. We have some funny moments, but definitely like when we go away on like trips is like the funniest stuff for sure.
Can you tell me one of those things, or is it not school appropriate?
I don't know. We just do like stupid stuff, but like nothing too bad really.
All right, I won't push it then.
For sure.
I wanted to talk about a couple of your bigger matches this year. You wrestled Joseph Antonio from St. John
Hmm.
Bosco. You wrestled him twice. Your first match, you wrestled him at the Doc B Finals. Obviously, it's one of the toughest tournaments in the country. You guys meet up in the finals, and you give up 2 takedowns. But what impressed me the most is that it just didn't seem like it really phased you. And you got a pretty crucial escape at the end of the second. You got taken down again, which kind of puts you back into the match, and then you just go out and freaking get a takedown with a minute left, and then you ride them out. When you gave up those 2 takedowns, like what was kind of going through your mind, and how were you able to kind of rally in order to get that takedown in the third?
Yeah, so he took me down probably like a minute into the match, and it was like kind of a close to a takedown. I didn't really think it was a takedown, but like whatever. But I was just like, all right, just get your point. It's 2-1. That's not a big deal. If you get an escape in the second, it's 2-2. So I think that's what happened. It was 2-1 at the end of the first. Then at the second, I think I went down, or
Yeah.
yeah, I
Second
think I
you went
went.
down, he chose to put you up.
Yeah, he put me up because he didn't want to get reversed. So it was 2-2. I think he got another takedown that was like literally on the edge. Probably wasn't even a takedown. The mat was huge, but whatever. So 4-2. Not a lot of time left, but I don't know. I just definitely put a lot of time in like top and bottom. I definitely focus on that a lot, and I really don't think that like anybody could like ride me for a significant amount of time. So it was really just in my head like, all right, this is your like free point. Then you make it 4-3. He'll probably choose neutral. He won't pick bottom. Um, and then the third, my coach just told me like the shot's there, because what he would do is he would like fake, but he would like pull his arms back, and he kind of opened himself up to a shot. So I got to like a single. The finish wasn't that hard. It was more so just getting into the shot because he had good hand fighting. But once I got on the shot, I think I brought it up. He had a whizzer and he was like pushing my head down. So then we went to the ground, and then I did a cutback, I think.
Yeah.
And once I did the cutback, I was like, okay, I have the two. It was 5-4. I was pretty relieved though, because it was like he does fight really hard. He has really good hand fighting. So it was 5-4 and maybe like 40 seconds left. But after that, I was pretty confident in just riding him out. No need to turn him or anything.
Yeah. And then you wrestle him again in the finals at state.
Hmm.
Was there anything that maybe, after you win your semis, you see Antonio win his, I know Brady and Sean, they watched a lot of film in the game plan. Was there maybe anything kind of going into that second match with them that maybe you were trying to look for or plan for?
Well, it's kind of funny because like my coaches like game planned with me, but before my match, I didn't even like think about a strategy at all. I was just like, all right, just put my faith in God and let's just roll, kind of. And nothing happened in the first, no takedowns or anything. And my goal was kind of just like to get a pin. I obviously didn't get a pin or anything, but I really wanted to separate myself, but I didn't. But then I dominated on the mat, and he didn't get really close to a takedown at all. So.
Yeah, I think third period he chose down, and you already got an escape in the second, which normally it's like you kind of have to go down.
Hmm.
And dude, you rode him out, and you get freaking two near fall out of it as well. That's got to be clutch, and it's got to be one of those things where you shut somebody out in the state finals, and you finish with the ride out. That's got to feel super good, man. Like obviously you won a state title, but the way that you did, it's got to feel good too.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's like too much pressure. It's not like it was like 2-2. We're going into overtime. It was pretty controlled match, I would say. And my coach Brady, when it was 1-0 after the second period, he's like, "You can turn him." Like he's like pointing at me, like, "You can turn him. Like you're gonna turn him." And it was like 20 seconds later, like I turned him, and like I should have had that like faith earlier that I could turn him and possibly even like go for a pin, but I didn't. But he was right. So.
So you win a state title. How would you describe the emotions maybe that were kind of going through you? And what
Mhm.
was maybe some of the thoughts that were kind of going in your head once you knew you were going to win?
It was definitely like it was a surreal moment for sure. And I know I didn't have like a lot of fans there. It's not like I was a big program like Buchanan or Poway. Like I didn't have a bunch of people like screaming for me, but it was definitely just like a surreal moment thinking of like all the people who have like helped me get to this point. And it'd been a long time. Like I've been wanting to have this since I was a freshman. I wanted to be a four-time state champ when I was a freshman. We obviously didn't get that my freshman year. I didn't have the opportunity. My sophomore year, I definitely came a little bit short. I got fifth. My junior year, I got second. It was kind of close with Bo, but overall, he like controlled the match a little bit. It was 2-0. But now that I like finally had this moment, it was just like, all right, you finally did it. Like it was a pretty cool feeling for sure.
So you said that you were coming in high school and you said you wanted to be a four-time state champ. Was that
Yeah.
kind of your mentality? You ended up being a three-time state placer, which is pretty impressive, obviously, especially being in California, one division. Um, at what point when you were growing up, because you were pretty tough since you were a kid, right? Like
Hmm.
winning tournaments and pretty competitive. At what point was it something that like this is my thing and like this is something that I'm pretty serious about and this is something I want to do after high school?
Yeah, I think it was maybe like middle school, maybe like sixth or seventh grade. I like fully committed doing year-round wrestling. I'd done baseball, soccer, swimming. I did a bunch of sports growing up as a kid. But I think it was around like seventh grade that I fully decided to do wrestling. I went year-round, and that's when I just like fully committed to doing wrestling instead of like spending time on other sports.
Do you feel like in order to accomplish your goals, you kind of have to do that? You have to focus on one sport when you get to be that age?
No, I think it's different for everybody. I think a lot of people actually benefit from doing multiple sports. Um, Maybe like football and wrestling, for example, but I don't necessarily think you have to, but I think that's just how it worked out for me. And it could work different for everybody.
If you weren't going to wrestle in college, if you could do any other sport, what would you do and why?
Well, I did track in high school. I was pretty good at that, but that wasn't that fun. I was like
You
one of
like
the, I
track?
think yeah, I did more like long distance and mid distance because I have pretty good endurance. So I did track in high school. I did cross country too. But I always wish I could do soccer because I used to do soccer a lot. It was really fun. And that's the same season as wrestling. So I never got the chance to. But I did that a lot as a kid. It was pretty fun.
They do have intramurals in college. So,
Yeah,
like, if you want to go play soccer or go hit the boys up and go play some soccer, like out in the fields, like you could do that.
yeah, that'd be really fun. I would definitely want to like do some games on campus for sure.
We when I was at CCB, our thing was softball. We did intramural softball,
Yeah, yeah.
but it got a little bit too crazy, so we were told we weren't allowed to do it again.
Why was it too crazy?
Just I think when you kind of have that wrestling mentality and you're going to do other things with people that are predominantly like non-athletes,
Hmm.
sometimes it just gets just a little bit wild. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then plus we had some guys on the teams that weren't handling their business academically, so they just canceled it. Like no more softball.
Did Sean do the softball?
I want to say he did.
Because he used to do baseball, and I could figure him doing like pretty good at it.
I don't remember him being on the team, but I feel like he was there. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
him. We'll have to follow up with
All right, I'll ask him.
them.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Um, talking about Stanford a little bit more. So Chris Ayers, like he's probably one of the coaches I study the most. Just past interviews and how he kind of structures the program first at Princeton and now at Stanford. And having him on was pretty cool. He just has like just so much energy and just a really good attitude. When you first met him, I guess what was that conversation like, and what kind of stands out to you about him and maybe some of the other Stanford coaches?
I would just definitely just say like they're very like active in the program and definitely like very involved with like development and I'm just like really excited to be there because I've never had like a coach of that caliber to like be under, so I think that'll be like really cool, and I'm just like really excited. And then not to mention, there's gonna be like a lot of great partners that I'll have, so I think that'll be really cool too. And I'm just really excited. Like I think it'll be
Dude,
sick.
yeah, you should be excited, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be a lot of work, but you're gonna be living in a beautiful spot. You're gonna be surrounded by a bunch of cool people, and it's gonna
Hmm.
be fun, man.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited.
how are you driving up there? Or are you flying?
Well, for the yeah, I'm driving. It's only like 8 or 9 hour drive, so it's not the worst thing ever. But yeah, well, I'm just driving.
Yeah, are you gonna drive up by yourself, or are you gonna drive with the family?
Yeah, I'll go with the family.
Okay, what are you guys gonna do on your way up? Are you like a podcast guy, or are you a music guy?
I'll probably sleep. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe
All
like
right.
sleeping like TikTok. Like that's probably it.
Yeah. So okay. So if you ride shotgun, you know you're not supposed to sleep, right?
Well, my mom might be shotgun.
So you'll be in the back seat. So you can sleep.
Probably yeah, probably me. But I don't know. My dad's like chill if it's just like me and him. Cause I used to go like to tournaments a lot with my dad. He was like the main one who'd go with me. when I was like a kid, and I would always be shotgun, and I'd probably just like take a nap most of the time. But I don't know, that was a lot of fun memories for sure.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you're going to be staying, relatively close. That way, your dad and your mom and your family can come in and watch.
Hmm.
You'll probably be wrestling at the Roadrunner Open, I would assume, right? Which isn't
Uh,
too far from
I,
San Diego.
I'm not sure, but that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, do they talk about like if you're going to be redshirting, if you're going to be trying to contend for a spot right away? Like they talk about any of that stuff?
No, I haven't talked to any of my coaches about that, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I don't want to keep you from practice, but I know you said you're going to be doing dodgeball. Is that normally how you guys warm up?
Yeah, that's what we do at Granite.
So I asked you this last year when I goofed up during our interview and didn't have the audio on, but who is the best dodgeball player? Or let's do this. Who are like the top five in order, 1 to 5 dodgeball players in your opinion? The Collin Guffey
Coaches
dodgeball.
or no coaches?
You could put coaches in there.
Okay, I think number one, I hate to say it, but it's Ryan Carroll. He's the best. He's the most dependable partner you could have in dodgeball. I think I'm definitely top three. Maybe you could put me like behind Brady or nah. I think I'm better than Brady. I think I'm better than all the coaches, to be honest. I think I'm second, but then we have Gavin Hunter. He didn't start for us, but he could definitely be top three too. Abram's pretty good. I don't know if he'd be top five, maybe, but those are like the main guys for sure.
Yeah. And are you guys still just doing partner dodgeball?
Yeah, we do partner dodgeball too, man. But sometimes we'll do regular dodgeball, but I don't think that's like as fun because it's not as like active. But two-man dodgeball is really fun. We usually do that a lot.
Cool, man. Well,
Yeah.
dude, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Enjoy your dodgeball time. Do you got anything
Thank you.
anything else to say before I let you go?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool, man. All right, Colin. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
That was episode 59 with Colin Guffey. Thank you guys for watching the show. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Please follow our channel on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, thank you guys for following the show, and I'll see you guys next time.